Which of the organelles possess both DNA and 70S ribosomes? The answer is mitochondria and chloroplast. Which amino acid does not have a chiral carbon? That is glycine, because glycine has 2 hydrogen atoms attached to 2 different sides of the carbon. During which stage of mitosis does centromere split? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase. A is equals to anaphase and A for apart. Which pigment acts as the reaction center in photosynthesis? Chlorophyll A. A stands for active. Chlorophyll A directly converts light energy into chemical energy because it's an active one. The Krebs cycle takes place in cytoplasm, inner mitochondrial membrane, mitochondrial matrix, intermembrane space, in the matrix, in mitochondrial matrix. Okazaki fragments are synthesized on leading strand, lagging template coding, lagging strand. Which plasma protein is absent in serum? Fibrinogen. Maximum reabsorption in the nephron occurs in loop of Henle, DCT, collecting duct, PCT. PCT, it's proximal and it's the primary. It's not primary, but that's how I like to remember it. Plenty comes through. Myelin sheath in the CNS is produced by Schwann cells. Now they are in PNS. Astrocytes no. Oligodendrocytes, microglia. Oligodendrocytes. The acrosome of a sperm is derived from nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus. So I like to remember it as a factory produces different kind of apparatuses. So Golgi apparatus forms acrosome. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not, but yeah, I like to remember it like that. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is maintained only in the absence of mutation. Taq DNA polymerase is isolated from Thermus aquaticus. Taq is equals to thermal. It remains active at high temperatures. Which ecological pyramid is always upright? Biomass numbers energy is the pyramid of energy, because at the bottom of pyramid the energy is highest, which is plants, and as we go higher in the pyramid energy keeps decreasing. Which hormone breaks seed dormancy? Gibberellin. I learned a trick somewhere for this. A seed dormancy, which is equals to seed is sleeping even though it's alive, and it won't germinate even if the conditions are suitable. So GODI, you have to remember this mnemonic, which means gibberellin overcomes the dormancy. Casparian strips are present in cortex, endodermis, pericycle, epidermis, endodermis. So I think of endodermis as a gate to xylem, and at the gate of endodermis there's a guard present, Casparian. Slime molds belong to Protista. Slime is equal to, it's strange, it looks like fungus but it's not a fungus, so it's kind of strange, and strange slime is equals to strange protist. They show both plant-like and animal-like characteristics. Flame cells are characteristics of Annelida arthropoda. Okay, this is something, yeah, they have given the same memory trick. Flatworms have flame filters. To remember this, you would need to know that flatworms are part of phylum Platyhelminthes according to your region, You may pronounce it as platyhelminthes, but ignore the pronunciation and go to the concept. Flame cells are part of platyhelminthes, and flatworms have flame cells. FLA, flatworms, FLA is equals to flame filters. Okay, and that's how I know that they are in platyhelminthes. Streptokinase is obtained from Streptococcus. Interferons are effective against viruses. Yes, please don't confuse them with antibiotics, which work against bacteria, not the viruses. So interferons kind of inhibit the viral multiplication. They tell their neighbor cells that there's a virus in the body and be ready to attack it. They directly do not kill the virus. EcoRI recognizes the sequence of GGATCC and this is GAATTC. Okay, we have to remember it as EcoRI is molecular scissors, so they have only one passcode and they only cut GAATTC. Bar body represents inactive X chromosome. What's a bar body? And if you want to know what is bar body, I'm going to tell you. It's a concept that since females have two chromosomes, X and X, and both of them are not required in the body. One X chromosome is switched off to maintain the correct amount of gene expression. The switched off chromosome becomes tightly packed and is called bar body. Maximum biodiversity is observed in temperate grasslands, tropical rainforests. Seeds are absent in pteridophytes. So there's a quick memory trick which they have given. Pterido is equals to pre-seed plants. So they reproduce through spores and not the seeds. Pteridophytes. Capacitation of sperm occurs in testes, epididymis, female reproductive tract. What's difference? The correct answer is female reproductive tract. Many students think sperms become fully mature in testes or epididymis, but that's not true. The sperms are produced in testes and stored in epididymis, but they are not capable of fertilizing the egg still at that moment. Only after sperm enters the female reproductive tract, it does undergo a process called capacitation, which is capability to fertilize. Capability to fertilize, I don't know what I'm saying. Capability to fertilize. Capacitation makes the sperms ready to fertilize the ovum by increasing its ability to penetrate the egg. Okay, so don't confuse it with epididymis, where sperms only gain motility and are stored. Histone proteins are rich in lysine and arginine. Histones hug DNA with a positive charge. Since DNA has a negative charge, histones carry a positive charge and opposites attract. The largest reservoir of phosphorus is atmosphere, oceans, rocks, soil, air, rocks. P for phosphorus and P for pebbles, and what are pebbles? They're kind of rocks, okay? Which one is the living mechanical tissue? Xylem fibers, no. Sclerenchyma, that's the dead one. Collenchyma, yes. Which one is the correct sequence for electron transport chain? So when there's an electron transport chain thing, you always have to remember one mnemonic or one saying, which is be careful always oxygen. So be careful always oxidize oxygen. In seafood plants, the primary CO2 acceptor is PEP. Which of the following is not post-transcriptional modification in eukaryotes? Cappy, polyadenylation, splicing, DNA replication. There are 3 post-transcriptional modifications, which is capping, splicing, and polyadenylation. Okay, these 3 steps happen after transcription, so they are the post-transcriptional modifications. DNA replication is completely different. It happens before cell division, not